When does self-love become a narcissistic character trait? Why go back to school? What do you think you can gain from school that would be beneficial to where you're going?
With that connection right there at the high school job fair. Hampton master's program was there, like right next to me. And we were talking, and they have a 1-year program, and they were breaking it down to me, and they said, looks like you would be great in the space of marketing.
My thought is that these students are more committed. They're here because they want to be, not because they have to be.
Sure. They take over your camera, right, and your screen to make sure you're not looking here and there, everywhere for answers.
I'll be starting in 2026 to get my PhD. We'll pay for the degree for you.
You're studying successful companies. You're learning about the internal workings of Nike. I chose to lean in on and bet on my creativity. My kids are like, Daddy, you're in school?
I had to go to college just because this is what you were supposed to do, and if not, you were a failure. When I tell you, bro, if I do an audiobook, it needs to be like that.
Everybody gets paid.
To everybody who doesn't have a MacBook, for editing, video editing, you don't need one.
It's strategic, but on different levels. I went to Norfolk State for my undergrad. I'm at Hampton across the water. That's a story in and of itself because we're rivals.
What's up, bro?
All is well, dog.
All is well, man.
Tired, working.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Everything good, though.
Everything is good, man.
Yeah.
Everything is good. So we wanted to have this conversation because we really wanted to talk about a couple of important decisions that we made, big decisions that we made. You decided to go back to school. Yeah. I decided to go back to school. I kind of want to know, what was the reason why you decided to go back to school? I mean, you're doing well in your industry right now. Right. Why go back to school? What do you think you can gain from school that would be beneficial to where you're going?
Right. So mine is more strategic, not just, I want a master's, I have a goal to teach on the college level. Right. And you can't do that without a master's. Right.
So wait, so you actually want to be like college professor? Really?
Yes. And, now when I say you can't do that without a master's, there is a way to do that, and that is as an entity, as they bring in your company and, allow you to teach them what you know and what you've been doing. Right. So there's that aspect of having that ability to do so. But on an official level, I want to be able to have that title and that experience of a professor at so-and-so university. Mm-hmm. So, and it's funny. This was at a job fair that I was invited to speak and host that, to have a booth and everything. And Hampton was there. Hampton master's program was there, like right next to me. And we were talking, and they have a 1-year program, and they were breaking it down to me, and they said, looks like you would be great in the space of marketing. So that's what my master's in right now, in marketing.
Master's in marketing. At a high school job fair, you're there supposed to be offering these things to students. Yep. You end up getting an offer that says, this aligns with your goals and where you are. It's funny that you said that you want to be a college professor, because I thought to myself recently that if I taught any subject in a classroom style outside of the mentor programming, it would be on a college level. Right. And the reason that I felt like I would want to teach on a college level is because my thought is that these students are more committed because they want to. They're here because they want to be, not because they have to be. Sure. Public school, you have to go to public school, homeschool, go get your GED, whatever it might be. Right. It's unlawful for you not to be in school. Right. Your parents will get truancy letters, fines, jail time, that kind of thing. Sure. In college, if you're here, it's because you want to be.
And you're paying to be here.
Right. You're paying to be here. So I always thought to myself that if I were going to teach on any level, that it would definitely be that college level. And so with me going back to get my PhD at Johns Hopkins, I wanted to do I wanted to do it at a prestigious university or an HBCU because I never had the HBCU experience.
Sure.
But I understood a prestigious university would also give me the network that I know I desire.
Sure.
Graduation of the PhD program. So with that being said, I did a whole bunch of research in terms of different programs: Bowie State, Howard University, Johns Hopkins. There's another university called National University where I can get it online, and it would be an ED as opposed to a PhD, which all were great, but Johns Hopkins University has that. We'll pay for you. We'll pay for the degree for you.
Really?
Bing bong, right there.
Right.
It's 4 years. Yeah. It's not 7 years. It's not 9 years like some of these other PhD programs, and they give you a stipend while you're in school.
Really?
So I will be a assistant professor at Johns Hopkins University for 4 years, receiving a stipend, plus my PhD program is 100% paid for.
Right.
Love it, right? Now, the network that Johns Hopkins University comes with as well is massive.
Sure.
And the name Johns Hopkins is a respected institution. Waynesburg University, I mean, if you know, you know.
Sure.
Penn West, California, if you know, you know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hampton University, we know Hampton.
Right.
We know Howard University.
Right.
And that was one of the
strategy now, man.
Yeah, man. There's strategy behind the school that you choose to be. Oh, these are the prestigious universities. It's not it's not a quote unquote normal university. Like, I don't want to downplay any other university because they're all accredited.
Sure.
But there are certain universities that hold certain weight, sort of like pledging, right? When you go and you become a part of that sorority or that fraternity, it holds a different level of cachet when you can say you're a part of this prestigious organization. I got my PhD at Johns Hopkins University. So now with that, I'll have an opportunity to teach if I want to. Have you? So when do you start school?
I'm already in 2 weeks in.
You're lying to me, bro.
I'm 2 weeks in. I'm 2 weeks in.
Hold on, so you got books and everything.
Man, listen, we got digital books, the whole nine, man. I'm doing weekly discussion questions that have to be at least 500 words. You got to respond to your classmates. At least two. You got to respond to at least two discussion boards. Yeah, I had that when I was doing mine. Those got to be done by Wednesday. That was last night by 11:59, and the proctored exams where they take over your camera. Right, and your screen to make sure you're not looking here and there, everywhere for answers and things. So I said, and I graduated undergrad in 2006. Right. And
19 years later.
So I'll graduate with my master's in 2026. So 20 years later. So like I said, it's strategic, but on different levels, right? So I went to Norfolk State for my undergrad, and I'm at Hampton across the water, right? Just a tunnel right there, neighbors to Hampton, and that's a story in and of itself because we're rivals,
right?
See what I'm saying? So Norfolk State is like, okay, all right now, we understand, but you need to relax, with this whole rivalry. But it's all fun and games, but it also plays on the personal brand as well.
Right.
You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm able to not just be in school, but talk about it in such a way that it'll resonate with people.
Yeah.
So it's that part as well. So it's funny, it's fun, and to be back into the groove of education. I mean, I'm always in the space of education because I'm learning on a daily basis. But in that
formal education
is interesting.
What's interesting about it?
It's the time management.
Okay.
It's the time management. You're already trying to manage 3 kids, a wife, a business, life, trying to eat right. So it's like a bunch of habit stacking you know, all at once, and to throw on 2 full classes
at an accelerated pace.
This is an intensive. It's 12 months.
Right.
So a year from now, I'll have my master's.
Right.
You know what I mean? The one thing I love about the time that I started, like this time is the perfect time because it's right before summer, and you know how fast summer goes. Right. But then right after summer, you know how fast the holidays go. The year is done. Right. And then we're saying Happy New Year's. Right. And then January to March, super fast, and it's gone. And then
and now you're planning graduation by the time March comes.
I'm planning graduate, and before next summer, I got the cap and gown on.
What classes are you taking?
So right now it's the finances. Okay. And marketing management, I think. Okay. Yeah, the finances is something else.
Finances in the sense of what? Like
in the sense of
business finances?
Business finances.
Well, because you would be marketing for other businesses and you'd be managing their budgets.
Correct.
Okay.
And mine, obviously.
And correct. And yours
but yes,
as well.
Managing, because it's not just marketing. You are... you got to pay for all of this stuff when it comes to marketing, when it comes to ads, and you know. So you might as well say I'm getting a business degree, right? You know, but the title of it plays so well with what I'm already doing, right? So let's just say on LinkedIn, you know, my mission on LinkedIn is to create that personal brand to say, you know, I'm that creative strategist. That's what I'm pushing towards on LinkedIn for me to be seen as. Right. And so now I'm able to add this storyline of me going back to school to enhance my abilities and skill sets in that marketing, in that creative strategy space, right? And so that shows people that I'm not playing any games, right? To make sure that I have the knowledge base to serve them better. Like my 3 letters of recommendation, you being one of them, right, is from my clients.
That's genius right there.
My client,
because it's the work that you're already doing in marketing for these companies.
And they were so happy to be asked to for them to give me a recommendation, to be a part of my growth educational journey.
That's huge, man. That's genius.
So it's like a built-in testimonial.
Hey, big time.
Yeah,
that's definitely. That's the big.
That's that creative strategy.
That's the
that just plays on internally and externally.
Yeah. When you think about it, man, it's it makes sense for what it is that we do, and going back to get this degree in marketing, I'm very interested in these classes that you're going to be taking. And what are the things that they're teaching you that we don't know? You know what I'm saying? At this point, like
it's so deep.
I want to hear what they say about social media, what they say about AI, what they say about email marketing, what they say about because is it better than the information that we'll get if we signed up for a course? If we signed up for the ClickFunnels course, if we signed up for...
It's better.
Really? Why? Already you can say that 2 weeks in?
So the courses that we can get online, it's what you learn so you can implement now and work within your business.
Right.
But this master's information, this grad school information is... We're talking about compliance. We're talking about, like, do you really know your stuff? Not can you know the play. Right. Now, we're talking about, can you stay in compliance? Can you keep your clients in compliance?
So this ain't about learning the play. It's about the whole playbook.
No, it's the whole playbook.
It's the whole playbook.
It's the government. It's the market.
It's the why of everything as opposed to just
correct.
the thing.
Like you really know this stuff. Not like I know if
you're mastering it. You're
correct.
You're mastering.
It's not that you know a few tactics that you can get around to work the system. No, you're learning the system. And I'm like, you're studying successful companies. You're learning about the internal workings of Nike.
Right.
You know, and as I'm reading, as I'm studying this information, the facts, their strategies, man, I'm seeing what information I can incorporate into my newsletter, into my content.
Yeah, and I was going to say, with these big companies that you're using, if you're working with these large companies, if you're learning from other large companies what works well for them, now you can reverse engineer
on a deeper level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when I came in here, I was on the call with one of my organization clients. You know, and they were just raving about the event that we just did. But with this newfound information, I can go deeper.
And planning another event
in 2 weeks.
Might I add. Literally.
In a different state. That was New York. 2 weeks later, we'll be in Detroit. And then a month and a half, we'll be in Chicago. It's a beautiful thing, knowledge, man.
Yeah, it is. I looked at it. So I've been looking at this PhD program for about 3 years now. Yeah. And I've been trying to find the right one. Yeah. I've been trying to there was a lady that I met, and I can't remember what university she was at, but I think she was at George Mason. She wanted me to go get the PhD at George Mason. It was relatively expensive, but I said, I'm not ready to do it yet. And I just kept holding off because I said, man, there's got to be some way that I can get this paid for. Like, I got to look at scholarships. I got to look at a bunch of different things. I got to make sure that I'm doing my due diligence. I didn't want to rush this. I rushed a lot of stuff in my life, and it turned out that there was a better way to do it. And I didn't rush this. And it turned out that Johns Hopkins was the better way to go because of all of the reasons that I've mentioned earlier. But I started to see that in my business, how having the PhD could immediately elevate me in a space where I've never been. So I've never been a teacher in a classroom setting. I have taught students before. I've spent a large amount of time teaching students, but I never really learned from firsthand experience. Now I've studied and I've gotten best practices. I've talked to teachers, worked with teachers, all of those different things. And so one of my sales pitches is that like if I'm trying to do a professional development, I tell them, I've never been a teacher. I've never been in your shoes, so I can't understand what you're going through, and I don't. I don't desire to understand what you're going through. But if you strip down a teacher and you strip away all the accolades, certifications, what are they at the end of the day? People. I'm not doing professional development for teachers. I'm doing professional development for people. Because at the end of the day, people have to show up and teach. So that's what my strategy is. But I learned the importance of information, and I said to myself, man, this PhD, diving deeper into the research of socio-emotional learning, conflict resolution, and the culture and the socio-economical advantages and disadvantages of youth, because I started to learn these trigger words that were prevalent in education: economically disadvantaged, social-emotional learning. So how does social-emotional learning relate to being economically disadvantaged? How does being economically disadvantaged lead to someone not developing their social-emotional learning skills in a proper way? And what can we do to develop programs that would enhance their SEL skills, which ultimately leads to better economically advantaged youth, families, that kind of stuff. So education became something that I knew. I was like, all right, I'm done going to conferences and stuff like that. Like I've gotten all of the information that I felt like I needed from conferences. I think right now it's just about applying the information.
Right.
Now it's time to go back and get more letters behind my name and in front of my name and become more prestigious.
Yeah.
I have to take a test before I can even get accepted.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have to write a 750 word essay, which was done immediately.
Yeah.
And then I have to write a 10 to 20 page paper, which I can do that relatively easy as well.
Sure.
But I have to take a GRE test. And on this GRE test, funny enough, they gave me this app called Brainscape, which is an app that I have been using anyway. It's basically flashcards and learning game for you, depending on whatever class you want to put in on whatever level. You put it in and you can study it on your phone, laptop, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
Bro, they gave me 1,700 flashcards of vocabulary words.
Yep.
1,700 flashcards. Now, half of it is vocabulary words. The other half is the definition where you have to tell them what the vocabulary word is. So essentially, it's 850 vocabulary words that I have to add to my everyday language.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this. Like, and I've been going strong for 11 days now, just learning words. And I already have 100 words, new words learned in my vocabulary. I can start, incorporating these into everyday conversation. I told my wife, I said, babe, I got to start using these words when we're having conversations. And if you don't know what it means, I just need you to tell
content.
me. Hey, that's
the word of the day.
Bro, I literally, I got a whole widget right here.
The word of the day is.
Word of the day. Yeah. So you know what I did? I have my daughter quiz me now. So she has to learn how to pronounce the words. She has to learn how to read the definition. So she's learning subconsciously what these words mean. So I'm like, here, Sanaya, quiz me. And she quizzes me these 100 note cards, right? And so this lets her know that, number one, you're not in school by yourself.
Right.
Number two, you're learning these words as well. You're not going to pick up all 850 like I am, right? Mm-hmm. You might pick up 100, but imagine learning 100 PhD words only being in high school.
Right.
Only being in high school. And so she'll start her freshman year of high school the same day I start my freshman year of my PhD program. Wow. And we'll actually graduate at the same time. So I graduated a couple weeks before her because, the college graduates before high school.
No, that's fun.
Yeah, man. Like we'll be in school. We're going to be at the desk studying.
Right.
When I got my master's degree, it was the same exact way. She was in school, me, her, my older sister, my younger brother. I had this picture of all of us sitting at this table, and we're all working, we're all studying, and so it feels good to be able to do that again.
Sure.
And at that
my kids are like, Daddy, you're in school?
Yeah. Come on, let's sit down and do this work, man. Like that. Like how do you? What's your kids' thoughts on that?
They're like, wow. Like, for real. They're like, wow, and they're just like, he's going back to school, and they're seeing
Daddy's old.
The value, right? Exactly, literally. You know what I mean? But they're seeing the value in self-discipline because that's what it requires for you to go back to school 20 years later.
Right.
Right. But they're seeing the value in self-education because they see me listening to podcasts and YouTube videos on various subject matters daily. Not watching videos, right, but listening to health and business, and now they see me going back to school strategically. Not just to get another degree, some people do that, but they see how it plays into what I'm already doing and how it's going to add so much more value. Like my mom just asked me last night, she said, aren't you, what did she say? I can't remember what she said. Something on the lines of, don't you wish you went back sooner? And I was like, no, not really. I'm heavy on timing, and I never ever wanted to feel like I'm doing something because I gotta do it.
Right.
I want to be able to do it because it's a choice.
And I think right now, you appreciate why you're doing it. Like, you didn't have the knowledge that you, 10 years ago, you didn't have the same knowledge that you have now.
I tried.
There you go.
I tried. This was shortly thereafter undergrad. Mm-hmm. And I tried it, and I was like, no. No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is not the right time, or this is not for me, or whatever the situation was at the time. But I had the wrong motivation.
Yeah.
Just, that's what you're supposed to do next. Go get the master's.
Right.
You know, in order to succeed, you got to be in school for 30 years.
An old belief that this was the way. That
so I chose to lean in on and bet on my creativity and in my ambition. But then 20 years later, I saw the value on top of what I've been able to build. Yeah. Right? Because I'm elevating in my space. And in this elevation, you're going to be up there with titled, experienced, educated, and you also want to make sure you do your due diligence to level up as well. Yes. Yes, I'm right there with you on timing. I took 5 years off before I got my master's degree because it was at that moment that I started to really understand, okay, I need more information and I don't know where to go to get the information right now. And the information that I knew I needed, I said, okay, well, if it's not out here, ready for me, I know it has to be in school. And even with this, like I mentioned earlier, it was a lot about time and trying to figure out when and where should I do what it is that I'm trying to do. Right. And so now, like, it's all about elevation, man. Yeah. It's all about constant
elevation.
Progression.
That's it. It's like that. I give that saying of, life is always elevating, and the moment you stop growing and learning is the moment that life will begin to surpass you. Yep. And so once life starts to surpass you, some people, life has gotten such a far lead on so many people that they're like, nah, I don't even really feel like trying no more. I don't even really feel like pushing myself. And so what they do is they just allow life, and life is just going to keep going. I mean, think about it. 20 years ago, YouTube had just came, 25 years ago, YouTube just started. Look where YouTube is now. Yep. Making millionaires, giving people the opportunity to get $100 million podcast deals. Yep. Right? Like, think about all of those things. We didn't have social media. We had MySpace back then. Now in comes Black Planet, right? Now in comes Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, Twitch. Now Twitch is like 7, 8, 9 years old, right? Yeah. Still in that infant stage of streaming and streamers and stuff like that. Yeah. And so everything was about timing and how I can say, okay, I'm ready to get this information. I've gotten everything that I need to get. Like business wise, there's always more that I can learn business wise for sure, and I will continuously learn. We will continuously learn. I'm confident in that. But now it's okay. I need to go deeper into the thing that I'm already in. Yep. Like I need to go deeper into the thing that I'm already in, and if I'm going to do that, I need to go and do that at a level that is respected and that is appreciated.
There you go. As I'm teaching these artists, not just poets, but these artists, of transforming yourselves from individuals to entities. Mm-hmm. There are different levels to things. And I'm finding myself in spaces and rooms and meetings and Zoom calls with CEOs and executives, and they're confident in my experience and my expertise, right? Mm-hmm. But where I want to take them,
right,
I want them to also be confident in my knowledge base on that level of excellence, mm-hmm. right? Where they know I formally am educated,
right,
on this. You know, I am definitely, I've gotten to a level where it's respected. But again, for me, it's always about constant progression.
Yes.
And I want to be fully prepared. I'm not there yet, right? But when that time comes, I want to be prepared, right? I'm not there to teach formally at a university, so I have to prepare.
Right.
You got to prepare for your ascension.
It's so funny you say that because that was one of your...
Yeah. I got a magnet that's the first step that I teach in making that transformation. And that is either getting a sticky note and writing on that sticky note that says, prepare for your ascension, and put it on a mirror, put it anywhere and everywhere in the house where you're going to see it often. Mm-hmm. Because that means before you walk out the door, that's the mindset you're in, is to prepare for your ascension. You're already planning to ascend to another level.
Right.
People just want to go to the next level. Mm-hmm. But without the preparation, you won't be prepared.
Absolutely. And it comes with doing the work. Mm-hmm. The small minute details.
Correct.
I have a saying, and it says you can't paint a big picture without a small paintbrush, because you'll miss all of the little details and make it actual artwork.
Correct.
And I think people try to paint this big picture without getting those little small details, and it's the details that you can't skip out on, because it's what makes it perfect.
Yeah.
Think about doing like construction. Like if you look at an outlet. Imagine if the outlet wasn't flush to the wall. Yeah, you can put the cover over the outlet, but if it isn't flush to the wall, it doesn't look aesthetically pleasing.
Yep.
So that's what some people try to do. They just try to put a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches, and you shouldn't put a Band-Aid on something that needs stitches. Like you gotta make sure that you're doing all of the work that it requires in order to be great. And is that more work? For sure. It's definitely more work.
For sure.
But it's worth it. The satisfaction that you get, the joy that you get after doing it, like after accomplishing it, and I've heard, I told myself when I first got out of high school, bro, there's no way I'm going to go get no PhD.
Right.
You got to be in school how long?
Yeah.
Ain't no way I'm going to go get no PhD, bro. You are 10 more years of school after this? Mm-hmm. Are you crazy? I'm not doing 10 more years after high school.
I said no because I said I don't need it. You know, naive in the moment, but again, I never ever want to feel like I have to do this, and if I don't do it, I won't be successful.
Right.
So in that moment, it was true to me. Mm-hmm. You know, go get that master's. But most people that were saying go get that master's were saying go get that master's to go get that job.
Right.
That's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
That was the turnoff for me. Mm-hmm. Right. I'll do, the high school, and I'll do the undergrad. But if you're talking about go get the master's and the doctorate to go get this job, when my creativity is allowing me to make more than the job, that's not making sense to me.
Not at all. People ask me what I want to do with a PhD, And I said, I want to continue to do what I'm doing now.
Right.
But just be smarter in how I'm doing it.
Yep.
And so now the conversations are different when my Zoom title says Dr. Young.
Different.
It's different when it says this is, you know what I'm saying, written by someone who is, who has research knowledge, thorough research knowledge, because Johns Hopkins University does not play. It said a rigorous research education training program. Rigorous.
And you won't know how rigorous until you get in there.
Jeez. And so look, here's what I did, right? I asked ChatGPT, I said, Chat, I'm going to Johns Hopkins to get my PhD in education for social emotional learning and its correlation to social economics. What should I be reading, researching, studying to plan in preparation for this? Because I don't start until 2026. What should I be doing? ChatGPT gave me a whole
He said, I'm glad you asked.
This is what you should be doing. And then I looked, GRE test. Okay, all right, cool. So now I'm on the GRE website and I'm looking and I'm like, okay, I got to take this test because this is something that I have to submit as well. Okay, what do I got to do? I got to start studying now. The application process doesn't even open until August. From August to December. But May is when I started studying in May. I started studying. I'm collecting these documents. I'm calling my peoples like, hey, yo, I need a letter of now that you said what you said about your letters of recommendation. I got some different thoughts about these letters of recommendation. I got some different thoughts about these letters of recommendation because I'm like, yo, who do I want to get? The schools that I'm already working with, I need them to write me a letter of recommendation to say, yo, he would be a great fit for this program because of what he's already implementing in our schools, and we would love for him to continue to implement them on a more knowledgeable level and be more, informed about how we can continue to assist the population that we work with.
Yeah. My clients were already honored to be asked to write the recommendation. But then when I got accepted, when I sent you that text with that AI generated me with a half Norfolk State sweatshirt, half Hampton that said 2006 and 2026. To be able to share that via text to those who wrote me the recommendation and to see and feel their excitement, the fact that they were a hand in it was something different, man. And that means this has never been transactional for me. The relationship with my clients, right, and my colleagues, it's always relational. Right. So something so important that I saw the value in them, seeing the value in me, and now we're connected on a deeper level. Right. So that also means I stay in or stay on their mind, and they also see me taking things to the next level with my knowledge and skill set to where they'll continuously think of me when it comes to bigger events and bigger projects. He's a master's student right now. We wrote recommendation letter.
Yeah, we wrote that. That ties you together even more now. Like
we married now.
We definitely married. We on paper.
You know what I mean? We married now.
Yeah, we on paper now.
Yeah. So I try to be as strategic as possible with every move, and I try to tie in my connections as much as possible, you know, and that makes people more bought in. And immature, small-minded people would say, you posting this stuff online to gloat and this, that, and the third. They have no idea.
You know what's funny about what you said just now?
I have no idea.
Today, I was at a school speaking, and I said, raise your hand if you love yourself. And some kids were a little bit hesitant. And I said, why wouldn't you raise your hand, you know, if you love yourself? And then one young lady said, because it seems narcissistic.
See?
I said, when does self-love become a narcissistic character trait? I said, I've been loving myself successfully in the most proper way for the last 10 years. If you knew the feelings, thoughts, emotions I had for the past 25 years, for those previous 25 years, you would celebrate me in the way that I love myself. You would celebrate me in the way that I appreciate myself, in the way that I care for myself, the way that I take care of myself, take care of my body, make sure that I'm exercising, trying to eat the best way possible, make sure that I'm putting stuff in my body that's helpful, make sure that I'm taking care of my professional look, make sure that I'm saying positive things to myself, and I'm not afraid to love myself out loud, because when you start to love yourself out loud, you become narcissistic. You become arrogant. You become arrogant. You become, you know what I mean? Supercilious is one of my words right there.
Supercilious.
Supercilious. Yeah. Supercilious. Yeah. You become supercilious, and like it's those things that I say, and everybody started to laugh at her too, and I was like. Well, no, I said, no, hold on. Let's have a conversation about that, because why is this a bad thing?
Right.
To love yourself. Yeah, you're not allowed to love. You're not allowed to say, "Yo, I'm dope. I'm good. I look good. I look good today." Don't like God. You can't take no selfie in front of everybody, because they're gonna be like, "Look at her. She
self-indulgent.
You know what I mean? She's so all into herself that you don't want a girl like that because she into yourself." Dang, I'm into myself. I love me. I love me. If the only person that loves you is somebody else, you're not doing it right? Like if you got a spouse, or you got a partner, and you got to love your partner so much because they don't love themselves, that's going to be hard to do. I need you to love you first, and then I can love you. You got to learn how to love yourself before you love somebody else. What up, man?
What do you do when you're in a space where you're all about constant progression, right?
You can come back in.
But the space, what's up, man? What's going on?
Christoph.
Charles, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah.
But what if you're the one that's all about constant progression, right? And you've been charged and challenged to challenge others to be like that as well.
Right.
Constantly progressing. But they're not, I guess, moving at a speed that you're moving. And you implement something, all right, then we're on a good track, and then we fall back into same old, and it's like a yo-yo. We keep doing this, and I'm like, and for me, I can't keep going back and forth with this thing. It's either we gonna constantly progress, or I might have to move on.
Yeah. What do you do in that situation? Give them space and opportunity to progress. Like, present them with opportunities to progress. I think.
Now, I'm talking about in a period of years. Right? So
sometimes you outgrow people.
That's what I'm saying.
Sometimes you outgrow people. I think that's the thing.
I give the space, the time. I understand, I'm patient. But over years where we do things that are successful, but because of their habits or lack of vision or foreshadowing and forecasting, it's always great, this was perfect, all right, but then we fall back into and I'm like, I don't mean any harm, I can't work like this.
Yeah.
I need, it's like that flower in a pot.
That outgrowth
that needs to be unpotted.
Yep. I need to be repotted and planted somewhere else. That's what happened to me when I was in Pennsylvania, bro.
Yeah.
I realized I had outgrown this place.
Right.
I became a whale in a pond.
Yeah.
And I need bigger water, man.
Right.
So now I come back to DMV. And now, where I was once big man on campus, I'm like, I'm doing, and I'm thinking, like, my thinking is beyond the thinking of majority of the people that's there. Like the stuff that a lot of them are doing right now. Bro, I was telling y'all that 14 years ago when I was there.
I know.
I was telling y'all that 14 years ago. Y'all are now coming to me saying the stuff that I was telling y'all 14 years ago, bro. Y'all are 14 years behind.
Right.
And we was at the same place. But you know what I'm saying? Now there's so much distance between us. It's like, I don't even know, bro. And so now I came back to here. Now I feel like I'm Nemo in the water, big giant ocean, trying to figure out where it is that I go.
Right.
And I'm so happy that I recognized that, because that could have been something that impeded me from progressing, particularly because of the relationship as well. She never saw this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
As the visionaries, we see, I'm about to get it, babe. Nah, it's not. I'm about to turn that corner and we about to hit. Jeff, no, you're not. Like, you keep on saying that, like, I can go to get a drug dealer and he making way more money than you. All right, go get him then. I don't care. No, babe, I'm telling you, listen, I'm about to turn that corner and I'm about to be, bro, I'm about to be rich, right? And that's the best thing that I feel a woman can do for a man who has a vision, is to there's guys who say it and they ain't putting in no work. Right. Or it don't seem like a vision that you even want to be a part of. If it's a drug vision, an illegal vision, you don't want to be a part of that vision. I was saying, listen, I want you to be a part of this vision where you see where I'm going and this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm even showing you people who are doing what I'm trying to do successfully. And look at how they living. They living great. They in first class. They in Maui staying in villas with maids and room service and free champagne every night. Look at, it's taking too long. It's taking too long. You can't cook this in a microwave though. You got to put this in a crock pot and let it sit.
People can't do that.
That's the hard stuff to do, man.
That crock pot, they're like, man, turn it up. Just make it a microwave.
Man, I put my joint on.
Then
low.
You burn it.
Yeah.
And then you burn it. Yeah. Now that part is hard for me, because when you do say, you know what, enough is enough, and you nicely say, I appreciate the time that we work together, but I have to move on. And you already know it's not going to go well.
Right.
As soft and as nice as you say it, it's already betrayal. You're the worst person, but you gotta live with that. I mean, that's you gotta take that.
If I see that's my thing. If I hire someone, I want to outgrow them, or I want them to outgrow me.
Same for me.
I don't
see it as betrayal, and you left me, and no, like you
for
are.
a better opportunity. One of the two is going to happen. I'm either going to outgrow you, or you're going to outgrow me.
And look,
or we can grow together. If we're simultaneously growing together, then that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you don't leave me, in some time, then I'm not doing my job.
Right. Yeah.
I haven't taught.
Yep.
And I haven't made you feel independent enough to learn and know that you have value and you now have vision because you've been with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I check in with my staff like, hey, what's going on? What are you building?
Right.
Don't just receive the check and, just stay coasting. I appreciate the fact that you're here. But your constant progression adds value to me.
Yeah. It adds value to our constant progression because everybody, we're all trying to move past or towards something.
Correct.
And if we're all trying to move past or towards something, it gives us more license to continue to do the work, but to improve on the work, on the quality of work. There's like, so I do the Winner Circle program, and in the Winner Circle program, what I do is I always try out the AI before I give it to them.
Right.
And so, bro, to everybody who doesn't have a MacBook, first and foremost, and for editing, video editing, you don't need one. And
I don't like it.
And I'm not gonna lie, the CapCut editing software, I think, because they offer the mobile feel on desktop. And I think it might be a little bit. I don't know if
it might.
I don't know if CapCut can sync to views yet, right? Multicam view. I don't know if CapCut has multicam view.
Yeah.
And audio sync to video, right? I don't know if it has that yet, but if it does have that,
I use
CapCut might be better.
I use Wondershare Filmora.
Yeah, I used to. That was what I first used when
They have AI included now.
Really?
Yeah, even the caption on the screen, and they got all that now.
Yeah. That's Wondershare. That was the first one that I used. It's still on my old computer, actually. If my old computer turns on,
and it's a one-time cost. I'm good for life now.
Really?
Yeah.
How much is it?
It was like, I don't know, like $100.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to try that one. CapCut is annually, I think.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. But yeah, I love that. But again, I was saying all of that to say, constant learning, constant growth, figuring out what AI is the best to use, what technology, I want to make life for the content creators that's in the group as easy as possible. How can I make this as easy as possible for you? And I think one of the ways that I do that is just through continuing education, man. Like we were supposed to be, it was supposed to be a book club in this group and stuff like that. But I realized not everybody wants to read. They don't want to read as much as I want to read. They don't want to listen to as much as I want to listen to. They don't want to do it. So I say, all right, listen, I'm just going to do it myself because I understand the value of knowledge. The timing isn't right for them, like we talked about previously. The timing isn't right for them, and that's okay. But for me, I know the importance of it, and I try to even explain that to like my daughter. Daddy, why am I doing this? You may not understand it right now. It's not for you to understand right now.
Yeah,
it's for you to get the knowledge and to train yourself. This is helping add to your identity bank. What we're doing is making deposits into your identity bank of, I identify as a person who reads. And now when someone asks you, who are you? Well, I'm a reader.
Correct.
I'm this, I'm this, right? We're making deposits into your identity bank. And that's what I want her to do.
Yeah. The biggest thing right now for me in the Poetry Business Network, so I just announced in the community that we're going from a free community to a paid community. But here's the caveat to it. The cool caveat is everyone who is current. So we're not moving on to a paid community until we reach 1,000 members, and we're at like 670. right? And so, but when we reach 1,000, I think we're going to do like $19.99 per month. And they already see the value, so everybody's excited about it. But here's why they're excited. Everybody who's already in there is grandfathered in, and they get the community free for life. But now, right? So now everybody's like, yo, we need to hurry up and get to 1,000, right? But also,
visually, it looks amazing.
That too, right? That too. But here's the really cool caveat. Everybody will be an affiliate. So that means if you tell somebody, I haven't landed on what percentage.
Oh, so every month
they'll get paid for just inviting people and telling people how awesome this community is.
That's genius, bro.
See what I'm saying? So not just, hey, we about to start charging, y'all better get your money right. No. Everybody gets paid. When I eat, we all eat.
Damn, that's good.
When I eat, we all eat. So let's hurry up and get to 1,000. Tell your friends and family, hop on in here. As soon as we hit that 1,000, y'all are free. So invite, so they don't have to pay. But when we do hit that 1,000, everybody becomes a foot soldier, an affiliate, and
now,
I'm thinking
a community of 1,000 soldiers out selling the Poet Life product. You capitalist.
Yeah, 670.
You capitalist.
But it's valuable. They see that we launched the book club. We read a new book every month. And so even the ones that are not going to read.
What book are you reading right now?
You Are the Mountain. Or The Mountain Is You.
Have them listen to the audiobook after that one, or at any point in time.
Which one?
Will Packer.
Which one is that?
Why Not? He's the director.
The Why? No.
Will Packer. Why Not You?
Got it.
Man, the audio version of this book
really
is gold.
Really?
It sounds like a movie. He's got a soundboard.
He's genius.
Ching, ching, ching.
He's genius.
When he's talking about money, you hear the money sign go ching. When he's talking about his story with Kevin Hart's voice comes on. LL Cool J's voice comes on. Sanaa Lathan is the narrator to give the witty comebacks and comments about, you know what I'm saying? That didn't really happen. He wanted it to happen, but it didn't really happen.
Wow.
Like that. Yep. Steve Harvey's voice is on when he starts talking about Think Like a Man. Ice Cube's voice is on when he starts talking about Ride Along. When I tell you, bro, if I do an audio book, it needs to be like that. He got sound effects, whoosh, you know what I'm saying? Car explosions happening. Carmelo Anthony is on there talking about, yo, we gonna die tonight. Lala Anthony's on. Bro, I was like this.
He made an audio movie.
He made an audio movie, bro.
You know what? Speaking on that,
I'm listening to it again for the second time.
I've been telling poets for years, why are we rushing to write? I'm talking about spoken word poets, that performance poets. Why are we rushing to write a poetry book and not write an audio book when you're an audio poet? Why not start with an audio book, create the demand for the written book?
Right.
Because the written poems don't read like the performances.
They don't.
I'm not going to read it the same way you're going to perform it.
And now, from listening to this Will Packer joint, to add a cinematic feel to an audio book, bro, I can't put this joint down.
Wow. He's a pioneer.
Bro, I'm telling you, when I do my audio book, it's going to be just, and his chapters are like 10, 15 minutes long, so they're short. Actually, I got it from Bree. Bree, you know, she's in the film, so she was reading it, and I was like, well, while I'm waiting for mine to come in, I want to listen to the audio version. And then I started listening to the audio version, and I was like, I don't know if I want to read this now. I just want to listen to the audio version. Like this, like it, bro. It's absolutely amazing, man. And his story, Will Packer's story, is just one that needs to be heard, bro. Yeah, it's one that needs to be heard, man. When you'll listen to that joint and you'll get lost in it, and you'll be like, damn, it's over.
I bet.
Dang, it's over. My mom, we listened to it on our ride to Pennsylvania and back when she came with me, and she was like, is the book done? I said, no. She said, well, how do I listen to the rest of the book? How do I listen? I'm like, Ma, I said, don't worry. I'll get you, I'll log into my, audio joint for you, and you can do it. But yeah, man, knowledge and experience is so important. So for poets, man, y'all need to, I mean, bro, create that audio version of the book, or at least do what I think Brandon Alexander Williams did. He put the QR code in.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking about. Yeah, he's a visionary too.
Yeah, he put that QR code in there. That take you right to the YouTube link. So but they don't upload their stuff on YouTube. So how would that even work?
Hey, man.
They still sending MP4 files to organizations and schools that have an antivirus and anti-blocker that says you can't download nothing video-wise because we don't know what's on this video.
Yeah.
And wonder why that email don't go through. There's a firewall there in education systems that ain't about to let you up in there. So, yeah, man. But yeah, y'all, we man, I wanted to jump on here, man, and just talk about this education experience and the reason why we decided to go back to school. And school ain't for everybody. We understand that. We know that.
Knowledge is, though.
Knowledge is. Knowledge should be for everybody. And you'll get to a point in your life, hopefully, you'll get to a point where you understand the value of knowledge and information and why this next step is necessary for you. I think we've both gotten to that point where we understand the importance of this next step and what this next chapter means and the benefits of education. I was much like you when I went to college. I had to go to college just because this is what you were supposed to do, and if not, you were a failure. And I didn't want to be a failure. If I would have known the process and the steps of going through college, I wouldn't have went to college right away. I would have taken a gap year. I would have got to understand money, finance, saved, got a car, built my credit, the same way I did for my younger brother, and then I would have went to school, because I would have went to school with less stress. I would have went to school with more confidence. Less debt for sure, because I would have taken it more serious. I would have even went to community college first, and then went to a 4-year school to get my grades up, and then get some scholarship money potentially. So yeah, man, there's a lot of value in knowledge and information. I mean, the saying is, the more you learn, the more you earn. Yeah. And we understand that it's not just about the education, it's about what the education means, not just to us, but to the people that we work with. For sure. To the people that signing the checks. Yeah. To the decision makers, to the people on LinkedIn, not the people on TikTok and the people on Facebook. Like, people ask me all the time, how many likes and stuff like that you get? Instagram ain't never got me one booking. As much messages as I send out on Instagram looking for bookings, Instagram has never gotten me one booking. Now, it's great for branding, because people get to see who I am and what I do, on a personal level. But what's gotten me bookings? I pick up the phone, I make cold calls. Hey, what's going on?
The two things I use social media for is it's my portfolio, for you to see my work, and for you to see me document my process. Yeah. That validates my work. Yeah. Oh, he's working. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and you're going to see that through the work, not the highlights and this, and that's not that's cool for a like and a cool comment. But how does it move the needle? It's the work, bro.
Yeah.
So ask yourself, and we'll close out this way, am I constantly progressing? If you cannot answer that question, you got some work to do. And if you can answer that question, you still got some work to do. But it's about the work.
You were talking about outgrowing someone, right?
Yeah.
Like, and think about it in that way. Don't let life outgrow you to the point where life leaves you. Because, like you said, when you outgrow someone, you like, I appreciate this work together. For a lot of people, life is going to say to you, hey, I appreciate this, man, but I've outgrown you. I left you behind. Don't let life outgrow you. For sure. All right,
we're office mates.
Absolutely.
So he holds me accountable and vice versa. You know, a lot of the equipment he has, I have now because I see it working for him, you know. So get you somebody that can hold you accountable and keep you moving forward progressively.
That's it. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.